What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Dan E Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where, of course, I give commentary, reviews, and personal opinions on all things wrestling. And I want to welcome all new subscribers. I've noticed we got a new friend on board. Shout out to you. I want to welcome everyone aboard. Thank you for your views. It means a lot to me. And for all new viewers, if you enjoyed this, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified on all things from me, Daniel Cody, and the DE Show. Now, let's get started. Last night was night one of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. It was amazing. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something first and foremost. They brought a crowd in there today. I don't know how they thought. I don't know what type of safety measures they took, but they brought a crowd in today. And I think that's going to be the norm. We have a crowd again. Now, here's the thing. I'll be the first person to say this. I believe in safety first. Don't get me wrong. And I notice, and they are in Florida, and there are a lot of Florida residents who had a lot of fun during spring break, and I hope there's no outbreak. Excuse me. But here's the thing. I'm all for having crowd participation, but I'm also for safety. So I hope everybody there was okay, but at the same time, I really was happy to see an energetic crowd and everyone having a good time. And the national anthem was awesome. Not enough words to describe that. Without further ado, let's get started with the matches. With first off, Tommaso Ciampa versus the longest reigning champion, in my personal opinion, if I'm not mistaken, the second longest reigning champion ever. And I have some more research to do, but I already know that Bruno Sammartino is the first longest reigning champion at 2,803 days in a reign. And Walter, has been champion for about almost 2 years. Wow. That's a lot. And if I do my math correctly, that is 365 times 2. That's 730 days. That's not too far under, let's see, 2803 minus, what did I say, 703? 703. Turn it off. Almost, he needs 2,100 more days to beat or tie the record to Bruno Sammartino's, God rest his soul, one of the greatest. Is he still here? I think he went on to be with the Lord. But either way, congratulations, Walter. Darn it. I was rooting for Tommaso Ciampa to win, but Walter came out. He retained. And I want to make a couple of interesting facts about Walter. First and foremost, y'all tell me something. And if I can't get a comment here, I'm going to go put some comments in WWE matches, and I'm going to comment. You can find me there also. But I'm going to ask a question. Who does the better chop? Who's a better chopper or a better chest slap or whatever? Who ranks? Because you have Walter, he can chop your chest, he can slap your chest. Then you have Keith Lee, who's more so for slapping the chest. And you have Big Show, who... Oh, God, that stings like a bee. I'm glad Big Show could not be a disciplinarian. All his one spin, you misbehaved in school. Shh. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little silly today. Can you imagine if Big Show was a disciplinarian? They'll never act up. Their bottoms would be red by one touch. But back to serious business here. You have Walter, who slaps and whacks. You have Keith Lee, who does this to the chest. Then you have Guys like, of course, the originator of the chops, Ric Flair. That's why every time you hear a chop, everybody goes woo. And his daughter, Charlotte, God be with her, let her get well from COVID, let her have a speedy recovery. Because it was originally supposed to be Asuka versus Charlotte, but COVID came, so now we got Rhea Ripley versus Asuka at WrestleMania, which I'm sure is going to be awesome to watch as well. However, you have Ric Flair, and then how do I say this? You have the Canadian crippler. Some of you remember him as Benoit. I don't know if I can say his name fully, but some of you know who I'm talking about. One of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. Man, his chops look like they hurt like fire. I think his are more intense. Benoit, I'm speaking of, are more intense than Ric Flair. Ric Flair's are sting, but Benoit's chops were the fire. They lit your chest up. Who do you think has the most stinging chops? Because I saw as Walter was about to smack Tommaso's chest, he ended up breaking the table. Now, can you imagine if that was his chest? He probably would have cracked his chest open and his heart. Would have had to send him to the hospital. So, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. He had an amazing classic last year, and it happened to make the top matches of 2020. Both of those guys in Walter versus, I forgot what his name was, but it was a UK match and it was on the top 2020 matches of WWE. Man, those guys came out with red chests. Everybody had a red chest. Walter had a red chest, he had a red chest. The other opponent who put on an absolute classic, by the way, chest hurt. My chest would have been purple. But either way, who gives out the best chops? Benoit, Ric Flair, Walter. Yeah, I think those are the only options I can think of. Keith Lee just slaps, but let me know what you think. Either way, Walter retains. Darn. And also, I will say this before I move on. Tommaso was kind of cleaned up today. Y'all notice that? He had a little hair on the side right here. But then he cleaned it up, and I'll be shaving myself soon, so just to keep myself looking a little clean. But Tommaso cleaned up tonight. I thought I was watching the original Tommaso Ciampa from NXT tonight. Also, congratulations moving on to my new favorite tag team, MSK. I gotta be honest, I didn't know if they were going to be able to win. I was wanting for them to win. It was an amazing triple threat tag team classic between all three teams. Those two, the grizzled young veterans who are not that popular. Good, but not popular. And then you have the other tag team. They were amazing also. Guys in purple. Both of those guys were high flyers. The grizzled young veterans are not high flyers. But they were both amazing to watch. I didn't know if MSK was going to make it because one of the guys had his hand crushed, and I was like, oh no. And it was just so ironic when one of the members was about to tap. I think it was Wesley. Wesley was about to tap out, and his partner came in and just held his hand like this to make sure that he wouldn't tap out. That was a heck of a moment to see. But I'm just so glad that they ended up winning. And I gotta tell you, MSK versus the Hardy Boys and their prime versus, we gotta make this a triple threat tag team ladder match. And I'm trying to think, MSK, Hardy Boys, who else? Who? Fill in the blank. You guys can fill in the blank if you want to. But MSK and the Hardy Boys in a triple threat ladder match with another great team. You guys help me decide on that one. Awesome. Last but not least, before we get ready to head on out, we have the Women's Championship, NXT Women's Championship. Speaking of championships, congratulations to MSK on becoming NXT Tag Team Champions. Of course, my favorite NXT Tag Team right now. Also, now to the main event, Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai. What a match. What a match. If you watch this match, you're going to find out why Io Shirai is named the genius of the sky. And I will say this, if Io could sing, she should have did I Believe I Could Fly. That way, years later, there would be no scandals to the person who sung it. God help him and deliver him. But either way, that song, there should be a YouTube tribute. I Believe I Can Fly. We know that song from Space Jam, but that song should be a tribute to Io Shirai because Io can fly. She flew off the top of a freaking skull face. It was awesome to watch. Man, I love her. Watching her perform and everything. But congratulations to Raquel. What a match. No one, I'm going to tell y'all something, nobody has ever kicked out of the moonsault by Io. And when that happened, you knew this match was going to get interesting and something was going to happen. And that something that happened was Raquel ended up winning. So I think Io regrets challenging her to her face. But hey, that's what you do to become the best. And no champion has ever done that before. But congratulations again to the tall, strong wrestler of NXT, Raquel Gonzalez. Congratulations. And there is a WWE exclusive on YouTube which shows Io Shirai getting a standing ovation, and well deserved so. But it has me wondering, is this her last match in NXT? If so, I really don't. On one hand, I'm like, I don't know if I want her to go and leave NXT. But on another hand, I'm like, WWE could use a little bit more electricity. Well, no one's in the arena right now. I made a comment. I watched the match that was uploaded today, NXT TakeOver 25, which featured Adam Cole, Bebe before he was a traitor, and Johnny Gargano before he became a jerk and this stupid way thing. I just think it sucks. I like him better with the Rebel Heart thing. That's just me. And Candice LeRae looks like the Wicked Witch of the Wednesday nights. And speaking of which, the Wednesday night is over. Wednesday Night War is over because now NXT's moving to Tuesday. I was really starting to enjoy the Wednesday Night Wars, a little bit of Monday Night War nostalgia between AEW and NXT. Man. But now it's on to Tuesday night, so we don't have to fight. I guess they just do not want to relive that stage because there were a lot of dark stories that went on with that, with slandering each other and things like that, and I guess they don't want to do that anymore. It's kind of like what would happen if Sean Diddy Combs and Dr. Dre went off against Versus. No one wanted to see that because that reminded us that two young men were shot and never made it past their 20s and never got to see the new millennium. So I guess there are certain things you just don't want to relive because while it was fun for the fans, there was a lot that went on behind the scenes for the wrestlers and people who are active in that. So I guess. But back to NXT. With Io, I hope she doesn't. I don't know if I want her to go. I really don't know. I mean, if she does go to WWE, and I'm not saying WWE is a main stage because NXT is where it's at, and it is awesome, but at the same time, if she does, y'all better use her right. And y'all better don't y'all dare do her like y'all did that stupid Retribution line. And it was so interesting. I was watching WrestleMania 27, which was hosted by my first hometown, Atlanta, which I'm going to give a review on another time. They kept saying with Cody versus Ray, Retribution. I'm like, don't you dare say that word. Yes! If Io goes to WWE, y'all better let her go to WWE as herself. Do not do her like y'all did the members of Retribution. If y'all do, all of us in the YouTube fan session gonna cuss y'all out. But either way, I'm just having a little fun here. I enjoyed the show. Night 2 is tonight. Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross, the double K, Fall and Pray. And then you have The Women's Tag Team Championships. Io with Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon taking on The Way. And then you have, who else? The ladder match, which is nostalgia to Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. Who is the true Cruiserweight Championship champion winner? Can't wait to see what happens. Hope to see it. Hope you guys watch as well. And I'm going to find it and give reviews as soon as I see it. And that's all the time I got for you today. Peace. See you again.